What are you going to do? Jerk off for the entire 10 years while you're building your business empire? And then start to worry about women, at which point they will only see you for your money. You had assumed that, you have to pay money to get these girls to like you. And it's not true. What about getting laid this weekend? What about connecting with a nice girl this weekend on your multi-year self-help journey? Until you get to the point where women are banging down your door and you have to do nothing more than stay at your home, then you have to go out and meet women. Go to libraries, go to bars, go to the gym and go to the yoga class with all the 30, 40-year-old moms. Be around women and you will notice your life start to change drastically. The courage to go into the world and know even if everyone hates you, at least you were true to yourself. It's a great thing you can tell yourself. Imagine on your deathbed, wow, I kept everyone else happy all my life. That's great. And you feel this sadness because you didn't do anything with your life. What if your friends tell you can't go talk to that girl? What if your parents say you can't go travel the world? Make some money first. That's what my parents told me. They said, make money first and then travel the world. And I told them, well, what if in 5 years I get a crippling injury and I can't travel the world anymore? What was all of it for anyways? If you just stopped and paused your life to consider what truly matters to you, and then you look at the current reality in front of you, I would argue that for most men, it's not aligned. Living the life that their parents, that their family, that their community, that their friends design them and kind of keep them in that sort of identity. And so we talk about that inner voice, childhood dreams you had as a boy to conquer the world and to kill dragon and to save the princess are just stifled and stuffed deeper and deeper and deeper until you no longer believe in them. The story is going to be different for each one of you that's listening, for Marvin, for myself. And there's a different way.
Welcome to the Amatoria podcast with Marvin Allen and Justin Dong. Join us for a journey through the art of love across the world, guided by timeless wisdom and lived experience.
This week, we had a conversation with Jeff. We'll link the full podcast here. And we talked about nice guy syndrome, people pleasing, approval seeking, and seeking external validation. A lot. Very, very important topics. And if you don't want to go the rest of your life being led around like a dog, following women around, it's a valuable listen. Marvin, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, it was a fantastic conversation with Jeff. I say this every time, but Jeff really knows who he is as a man in the world, and it's because we
Yeah,
talk to great guests all the time. And I really, really enjoyed this with Jeff, and I hope he comes back on soon.
perfect. And so these are our personal takes and reflections on the conversation. We hope you enjoy.
Let's go.
So, nice guy syndrome, Marvin. What's your story with this?
Man, yeah.
Your background?
I remember even reading a book. It was called The Courage to Be Disliked, I think. It's a great book as well. It talks about the psychology of Alfred Adler. He's a German psychologist, and it's about what it says, right? The how everything if you only do things because people like what you do, or so that people may like you or think you're a nice guy, then you will live your whole life just being this random nice guy, and you will end up living someone else's life. That's the tragedy of being a nice guy, right? That's the main tragedy. You will do things just to please people, your parents, family, friends, society at large, and you will just end up not living the authentic potential that you are meant to live. I think that's the most tragic thing about this, and I was very guilty of that too. Studying something, working at a job I didn't want to, studying for something I didn't really want to do, not traveling, not meeting new people, meeting new women, because I was stuck in trying to please my parents, my friends back then, family, friends of friends, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it takes courage. It's good to have a brotherhood that's supportive of that and that recognizes that kind of behavior as well and calls it out. And yeah, that's kind of my story.
Well, you got to imagine the price of keeping everyone else happy is your own happiness.
Right.
And to say it in a different way, if you just stopped and paused your life to consider what truly matters to you, and then you look at the current reality in front of you, I would argue that for most men, it's not aligned. They're living the life that their parents, that their family, that their community, that their friends design them and kind of keep them in that sort of identity. And so We talk about that inner voice, the childhood dreams you had as a boy to conquer the world and to kill dragons and to save the princess are just stifled and stuffed deeper and deeper and deeper until you no longer believe in them. And there's a different way. There's a different way. And Marvin, you've done it. I've done it. Zan inspired us. Casanova did it. And we always come back to this discussion about the courage to be disliked, like you said, the courage to go into the world and know even if everyone fucking hates you, at least you were true to yourself. It's a great thing you can tell yourself. Imagine on your deathbed, you're thinking, wow, I kept everyone else happy all my life. That's great. And you feel this profound sadness because you didn't do anything with your life. To say it in an extreme way. At a more practical level, what if your friends tell you you can't go talk to that girl? What if your parents say you can't go travel the world? Make some money first. That's what my parents told me. They said, make money first and then travel the world. And I told them, well, what if in 5 years I get a crippling injury and I can't travel the world anymore? What was all of it for, anyways? You know, the story's going to be different for each one of you that's listening, for Marvin, for myself. But I think it's an important thing. And well, they don't teach you that in school. Not the way you were brought up, Marvin. Not the way I was brought up.
Oh,
Good grades, go to a good school, get a good job. You were in law school, for how many years, Marvin?
5 years.
5 years. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I won't say I didn't learn anything, but if I had to live that time again, I'd probably do it differently. And it's really I also thought a lot about the ritual we have in the Amorati, the daily devotions, as Zan calls it. And every day in the morning to take a look at your list and at your writings and see what's the what's your place in the world today and what's the person you would like to become. It's also something Jeff talked about in the conversation. It really helps keep you aligned with that vision and helps filter out other people's opinions and expectations for you if they don't fit this image that you have for yourself, for your future self. So I admit I fell off the bandwagon doing that for a while, and I it feels good being back on it though, and waking up daily and looking at that list and thinking of my life as I want it to be, and it really helps, and then it helps if, as I mentioned, if you have a community, if you just us having this conversation is helpful for me, to keep
Yeah.
reminding myself, hey, there's something bigger in life that you're pursuing, that you're on this journey with your fellow brothers like you, Justin, like Stan, like all the other guys we talked to. So it's always inspiring and helpful to talk to like-minded people that are on a similar path.
Yeah. To transition a bit on top of your point, Marvin, guys wonder, why don't women like me? And they try to do pickup and they go red pill and they go black pill and they go looks maxing and they do all these sorts of trends that exist for the modern man.
Mm.
These substitutions of a message. Have you ever stopped to consider that the reason that women do not like you is because you don't like your own life? That carries through and through and through and through, and you going to the gym, you getting tattoos, you building your business empire to try and fill this black hole of a gap inside yourself. You'll never be fulfilled. You'll never be enough, and you don't need all these external things to feel like you're good enough already, which took years for me to understand, right? For you to understand, for the brothers in the community to understand. So easy to say, right? But what if the reason that you have trouble with women is because you are doing things on other people's terms? You're trying to look impressive for women. You're trying to get a lot of money so women can like you. Actually, looks and money are very, very low on the things that women consider attractive, especially when she's ovulating. Like, imagine these sorts of like things that we've been taught to
Mm.
prioritize conventional society, what it tells you to do. And the case of women, that does not make you attractive. Why do women sleep with short, fat, balding, toothless, stinky men and say to these six figure, six pack, conventionally successful men, wow, he's a nice guy, but he's just missing that something. They go and sleep with these homeless, essentially dudes, after this guy spends $500, maybe $5,000 on a date with her. What is the essence of that, and how does that relate to nice guy syndrome and people pleasing and being your authentic self in your mind, Marvin? What do
Wow,
you
great
think?
question. Wow. I mean, I always think like it's not bad, you know. It's not bad to have any of that. It's not bad to have a lot of money and to have great looks, and but it's if you only have that, then you got nothing. So
Yeah,
it's like always a nice addition, and unfortunately, it's where most of us guys start with and think that's the starting point and the be all end all of our journey with women. And also, it might be your passion or your calling to build some kind of business empire, to build, something that's truly it can be fully aligned with your life and with yourself. And if you end up making a bunch of money with it, fantastic, right? But if that's that's all you have, and there's not this, what do you call it, the mystery, the yearning, the curiosity, writing the greatest story of your life, that kind of spirit
yep.
of wandering through life and creating a life that's truly unique and truly you, and that's setting
Your
out into the
personal
world,
myth.
your personal myth. Yeah, if you're not on that journey, if you are, women can really sense that you're on a mission of building the greatest life that you could build for yourself, and that you're on a journey internally and externally. And there's something else you're caught up in life. That's not just her, that's not just women, it's something greater that you're pursuing. I think it's mostly that, but there's also something else that I can't quite. Yeah, if you mentioned the short, bald, and toothless guy, like he also might be on a journey for himself, right? But maybe there's something more, there's some edge, there's something else to him that she can hold on to that's really attractive to her. Um, I'm thinking about it now. But yeah, what do you think that is, that quality in him?
Well, so men wonder, why do I only attract women that want me for my money? Because that's the only thing that you offer to them. They look at you and that's what they think. And men in the community, the dating and the seduction and the relationships community, oh, frame is super important. Okay, fair. But what if your frame in every interaction was, well, I am on this great adventure of a lifetime. I'm on this magnificent journey. I'm going through the jungle to find treasure on the other side. So that if this girl comes or not, you're living your own adventure. Anyways, our friend Johnny Saporno says good looks gets you about 60 seconds of interest from a girl, being this chiseled, muscular, tall guy. And they come and they talk to you, or you talk to them. Most men don't even talk to women. And the women think, why are all the pretty ones so fucking dumb? Is what our friend Johnny says. And because that's not what women find attractive. And if you talk from a more female sexual psychology perspective, sometimes when a woman's ovulating, which is a quarter of the month, which is not insignificant, she's thinking, looking at every guy and thinking, does this guy have what it takes to bend me over and do me immediately? Because her brain is literally at the level of, I need to collect sperm from the most guy that is ready to go. These women that are professionals and these women that are correct most of the time go through this phase once a month. And so, what is that essence of that skilled lover who may or may not have money? It's not to exclude external success. These things are great. They let you do the things you want to do in life.
Yeah.
But if you only have that and you don't have that pirate spirit, if you don't have that lover spirit that can
Mm.
see when a woman's ovulating, so instead of trying to talk to all these girls that are going to the bar for attention, that's the woman that's going to go home with you. You have that perception, which is trained after thousands of hours, but it starts with you going out to the bar, maybe by yourself, Mejor solo que con tontos. In Spanish, better to be by yourself than with fools. Better to go by yourself to the bar than to go out with those friends that keep you comfortable and safe and you never evolve. To go see what does that mean? How is my fantasy archetype to women? What is my personal myth? What can I say without explicitly bragging about or trying to show off the fancy watch or the luxury brands and stuff that women look at that guy? Wow, that guy has nothing to prove. And you know what? I will not make him take me on 3 dates, 5 dates, 10 dates, because you know what? He represents adventure and freedom and spontaneity. And he's on his own journey, and I want to be a part of it, even if it's not forever.
Yes.
Don't listen to us. This is one way, but this is kind of the path that we are walking, and we want people to know that it is possible, and you don't have to get 7, 8, 9, 10 figures before you can start being attractive to women. And I wish we had known this. I wish I had known this when I was 16, going down generic self-help, working out, stoicism, productivity, habits, all these sorts of things that we assume, well, focus on yourself first, then worry about girls. And I joked on the podcast with Rafa, I'm going on a big rant here. I'd love to hear your thoughts after, Marvin. What are you going to do? Jerk off for the entire 10 years while you're building your business empire? And then start to worry about women, at which point they will only see you for your money and and what you presented to them, because you had assumed that you have to pay money to get these girls to like you, and it's not true. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, as you said, I think it was on Stelios's podcast, which is coming out sometime soon. And we mentioned, yeah, it's great, to learn how to shake a hand firmly. Great to it's great to go to the gym and work out. It's all great, but it might not get you the success with women that you secretly want. And they're all great skills to have,
What
but
about getting laid this weekend?
well,
What
tonight,
about getting? What about connecting with a nice girl this
yeah,
weekend
yeah.
on your multi-year self-help journey?
And as you said, it's really like that. That once you're on that adventure and journey, and you see yourself as the hero who's following his own arc, who's on his own journey, who's setting out into the wild and coming back eventually with the elixir, you will see the world and you will see every woman differently and you will ask what role does she play in this grand adventure that you're on, and she will notice that in you, in the conversation, and how you ask questions about her, about life, about your curiosity for things. So all of those things, in every interaction you have with any woman, the way you look at a girl in the bar, that in that look she can tell a million things about you in your life. Are you like scared? Are you seeking for her approval? Are you just chilling there? Are you just having a good time with your friends? What are you doing? And it's a great thing just to go to a bar and to observe. I love to do that. Even if you're alone, you just go and you just look around and kind of soak it all in and do your part of your 10,000 hours in a bar. Get the first few hours in and just soak it all in and see, oh, that this guy likes that girl, but she likes kind of him, and which woman is ovulating here, take a guess. And oh,
And she likes me. She's talking to
yeah,
him all night, but
do
she's been looking at me
yeah, why would she keep
because
looking at
I'm not
you?
trying to prove anything.
Yeah, yeah, do you have something on my nose? What's going on? I'm like, I'm the guy she likes. Yeah, so I don't know where I was going with this, but it's great to go out alone if you have no one. It's even greater to go out with fellow brothers, but if you have no one
Yeah.
and you just want to start this journey, just start going out, and you don't even have to do anything. You can just stand there and look around and just be there. Like that will be better than doing nothing as a first step. And something may even happen at some point. It's how things work. You just,
Well, as we say, you got to put yourself where the girls are in order that you might meet some
yeah,
girls
in the bathroom.
in the bathroom. Take them to the bathroom. Take them to the
Exactly.
alleyway. Do them in the street. Doesn't matter. You have to be around women for that to
Yeah, I
happen.
mean, don't go
And
into the
until you
woman's
get to the
bathroom,
point
but
where,
yeah, it's,
well, unless she's taking you by the hand and
unless
leading you
she's,
there directly, but
You can wait outside. It's all right.
And the other guys can wait outside. Well, anyway, it's like the idea is like until you get to the point where women are banging down your door and you have to do nothing more than stay at your home, then you have to go out and meet women.
It's true.
You know,
I mean, it sounds like it. That
go to
sounds like a pretty good
libraries,
end
go to
state as
bars,
well. Yeah.
go to yoga class, go to the gym and go to the yoga class with all the 34-year-old moms. Be around women and you will notice your life start to change drastically. Marvin, there's an element of multiplication of, yeah, it's better to go out by yourself than to go out with guys that hold you back and drag you down to their level, for sure. But it's also, imagine going out with, I think of our times in Bucharest. I think of traveling with Eric, with you, me, and Stan in the bar, just going out in the moment,
Oh man.
observing each other, doing our own interactions with women, getting observation when we leave. On the off chance that we go home together, giving each other feedback. We might have been vlogging that night. We might have needed some content. We might have whatever.
The vlogging.
Like, I saw you do this and this and this, and she was really interested at first, but then she lost interest after you did this, 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 and to get that feedback and to discuss for hours what you could have done better. Looking forward to going out the next night. There's a multiplication factor of that takes your 10,000 hours, and if you do that with your friends for a couple weeks, months, years,
Yeah, for sure.
well, it's hard to do it alone. These sorts of things.
It is hard. I mean, there's a different kind of learning that you get when you go alone, which is just that at some point you'll just realize you'll be fine. Whatever happens, whatever situation you're gonna be in, you're just gonna be okay being yourself and representing yourself in any kind of social setting.
Yeah,
It's also a very valuable thing to have, so you don't depend on anyone having to go with you. But as you said, there's a huge, huge benefit of sharing the stories, the ideas, giving constructive feedback. But as you said, with guys that get it, that's the important part. If you go with guys that don't get it, that hold you back, and you feel like you have to fight against that, and then also build up the courage to talk to a girl or just be there in the place, then that's probably going to be not going to be helpful for you. And yeah, we had some great, man. I
yeah.
remember in Buenos Aires, we went out to Kika and like I don't know, like
Kika Club.
every night. And then the next day we just talk on the phone for like an hour or two about the last night, and then we'll just go the next night again. That was
Remember that
crazy.
one
That was
girl?
wild. Yeah, wow. Angel, crypto angel,
Crypto
crypto
Angel girl, fucking
girl, man.
stunning legs, high heels, beautiful white
Just all in
dress
white,
in the
right? Yeah, it
club
was all in white.
on the bar trading crypto, bit of a nerd but perfect body. And
Oh, she was like, look at what I'm doing.
oh man,
It's like showing the
look,
crypto
look,
chart.
look,
She's like trading. She's like
mira.
trading crypto in the yeah. We're
Man,
we're in the office, just waiting. Yeah, just
quick
waiting.
story about Buenos Aires. So Marvin and I, one night we went out at, we left home. There's a thing called siesta, and that is midday nap, quote unquote, 8 p.m. to 11 or 12. Argentinians will eat their steak and their wine dinner, and then they'll take a nap, and then they'll go out. Like going out at 10 or 11 or 12 is foolish in Argentina. It's
Yeah.
borderline insane. And so Marvin and I don't know what we were doing. Maybe we were just having a good time and comparing notes and shooting the shit. And we decided to go out at 4 a.m. And by conventional standards, in every other city and country in the world, that's fucking ridiculous. We went out at 4 a.m. The streets are completely filled. This is in Buenos Aires. And then there's these two girls dancing cumbia or whatever local dance that they were doing there. Us, these two gringos, right? Obviously, in the downtown, maybe not the safest part, but that's where the real fun happens. That's where you're truly alive, right? These girls were inching closer and closer and closer to us. Maybe by accident. Maybe that was them flirting. Men think they make the first move on women, and maybe the woman liked you and she just stood near enough to you so that you could make the first move on her. We met these girls. Eric was in the apartment, 5, 6 a.m. We invite them to have some wine at our place, the most natural way to invite women ever. Yeah, hey, let's keep drinking at our place. We're gonna have music. We'll have dancing. It'll be a fun party.
That's
And the funniest part is that you don't need to lie for girls to like you, man. There's so many guys on Instagram, like they're like calling it assists.
mm,
They go to a guy, hey, thanks for lending me that $10,000 or those $2,000, man. They're just lying out of their ass to make the guy look better in front of the girl. And I'm not one to judge. That's better than doing nothing. But you don't need to do all of
that's
that.
funny. I've never heard that.
Well, it's funny, right? To even hear it.
That's funny.
But it's happening, man.
That's really
And
funny.
the guys will be recording it. And so these girls, they. Yeah. I will not say more about what happened after, but the point is there's a whole world out there of sweet, sexy girls waiting for a guy that's different from
Well,
all
here's the thing,
the
like if you do this,
professional.
whatever you call it, assist, whatever that thing, like you're kind of saying, hey, I'm not good enough just the way I am. Like I need someone to validate
Yeah.
me for something else, for an external thing that I have money or whatever. And that's really at the core of that. If that's your belief and you have to rely on that, that kind of says everything, right? You don't need like you think you're not good enough to be with this girl without someone else, without some external validation. That sucks.
That's a very negative, self-enforcing pattern. Oh, I'll finally be good enough for a girl to like me once I get that promotion, once I get millions of dollars, once I'm finally strong enough. Well, my friend listening, you could always have more money. You could always have bigger muscles. You could always have, and not saying these things are inherently bad. It's just, it's not related to getting women. How many guys have big muscles, tons of money, and spend all their time and money on escorts, on porn, on substitutes for, well, guess what? Newsflash, sex with a real woman is better than any porn or anything that you're paying for transactionally. And how many guys that are on the surface great? They're great conversationalists, they're funny, they're respectful, they're everything that women say that they want, and they struggle terribly with women. How many guys do you know are rich and tall and jacked and don't have the courage because they don't think they're good enough to go and ask a girl, what's your
Well,
name?
if you don't like your life and you don't like yourself, like women can smell that 10 miles away.
No matter how much fancy, shiny exterior you have.
Yeah. And why would she want to be with someone who doesn't like himself or his life?
And the best part is you can just choose to like yourself. You can just, or you can start taking action in your life in a way that
Yeah.
makes you like yourself.
Yeah. And
And
if
it doesn't
you
have to
like
be
your
very
life,
big.
mm, yeah.
If you don't want to sell everything and go to a foreign country, as I advocate, then at least say, hey, guys, to your friends, I'm going to take tonight for myself and go out and test yourself and see what you're made of and know that you're going to be okay. And oh, you know what? I talked to 5 girls tonight. Even if I was stuttering, even if I was this, even if I didn't know what to say, I showed up. And that's all that ever matters, anyways, in this world is that you tried. How many guys don't even try? I wish we had known this when we were
And as long as
starting our
you, right,
journeys.
you speak your truth, you stand in your truth, there's no rejection you can experience. There's nothing that can happen. You can say, hey, I'm really nervous, but I'm here and this is who I am. And
Yep.
it's simply your truth. It cannot be rejected. It cannot be denied. That's who you are. And you showed up as who you are,
Yeah.
truthfully. That's it.
I remember one quote from Jeff. He said it in the podcast. He says, the sense that I get now is I can go into any room and represent myself,
I remember that too.
who I am,
Mm.
without shame. Yeah, that stood out. I was thinking about that these days because no amount of external accumulation is ever going to get you that sense of, you know what,
Mm.
I've made it because I accepted myself. Because that's it. There's nothing really more. Guys try to do so much externally when if they were to look on the inside, that's all that they would need. All the treasures are already there. It's just been repressed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really powerful point. Like, could you be in any room with any kind of people, like powerful, rich, politicians, whatever it may be, that you find intimidating? And could you still fully be who you are and be confident in who you are, that you're not inferior to any of them just because you have less money or less power? Yeah, it's an interesting
Well,
thought.
here's a thought experiment. Imagine you, let's say fast forwarded 5 years, you, the listener, is in a room with politicians, actors, celebrities, runway models, singers, and you're in this room and you've walked the lover path. You've traveled tons of countries. You've met and romanced incredible women. And you're in this room and you're looking at these guys that are paying money to trying to get girls' attention, guys that are trying to do more instead of be more. And you look, you know what? Some men dedicated their entire lives to chasing money, trading their time for money, trading these sorts of things. And some men dedicated themselves to studying women and walking the lover path. And you know what? I'm just as valid as that guy, as any of these guys here. Even though they're conventionally successful, they don't know what the hell they're still doing with women. And there's no, like, this is it's not a zero sum game. You don't have to tear other people down to make yourself feel better. But some people like snowboarding. Some guys like girls. Some guys are good at snowboarding. Some guys are good with girls. You think it was an accident? Every man, as Nan says, has been good with women is good because he consciously chose to learn it. And of course, to go through that initial hell, to go through the phase, to meet some girls, say, what makes you think you could talk to me? For every one of those girls, there's 10 girls out there that are like, wow, I've been waiting and it's refreshing to hear from a guy who's being honest and expressing, and you make me feel pretty and desire. And I don't hear anyone else saying that.
Mm.
We're just
Right.
emphasizing that it's okay to like girls. You know, you're a boy, you liked girls. A lot of guys that dislike women because they've consumed too much social media, because of the existing messages that are dominant. What happened to that version of you that was a boy that liked a girl in your class and was so shy and so bold, pulling her hair, running away? Where is that?
Yeah, yeah.
Girls haven't changed. Girls, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they
There's
have their
many ways to think about this.
yes, they have their
Go ahead.
pressures too of society and what forces them into weird kind of roles and patterns of behavior. But deep down, yeah, we're still the boys and they're still the girls. It's always going to be there. And Anthony,
Yeah,
I think,
it's just boys and girls
yeah,
at
just
the
boys
end.
and girls. Anthony had a great story on the pod we did with him about him talking to a girl when he was like 8 years old. I don't know, and
Yeah.
connecting, trying to connect to that spirit again of being like a just a boy who likes girls. It's simple, simple.
Well, what's changed? Growing up, society,
Yeah, bunch of
expectations,
bunch of
obligations.
shit piled on top. Yeah, yes, yes. In essence, that's what we're doing. Like digging through other layers of bullshit that's been layered on top of your child's mind, innocent, playful mind. That's still there. It's got to dig down a few layers and find that again.
It's funny, man, because I spent years going down generic, surface level, whitewashed dating advice that didn't result in any real change. I imagine maybe it was the same for you.
Mm,
How many guys listening to that? That's all that they have. There's no guidance for men. And so it is possible to dislike yourself. Like, what am I doing still? Why haven't I had the success? I've tried so hard and I'm so sincere. And then you wonder, because everyone listening to this is here somehow. Maybe you're here because you had a shitty childhood, or you had generations of familial shame, like in my Asian culture. Ignore sex and connection and desire doesn't exist. Focus purely on money and achievements. And somehow we are miraculously all here. And I wonder about the future, or that in an alternate timeline, version of you, Marvin, version of me, version of Zan, who never had bad things happen to him, to make himself want to change his life, and just went on to exist a boring, soul killing, mediocre, grayscale life and die 5 miles from where they were born. You know, what about that version? So I'm grateful because we've somehow found our way here. And because of our struggles at the start, we became who we are now. And it could have been a different way. What if we had become hateful of women? You know, just because of being guided down a different path than we walked. So I wouldn't change anything, actually. And it's
Oh,
possible to do things differently than they have been your entire life.
yeah, it's very possible we could have easily ended up somewhere else. And I'm really grateful for even all the struggles I had and all the wrong turns I did, and it just led me to where I am
Yeah.
today. And I'm quite happy with with where I am today and who I am today. Not to say that there's not
Yeah.
a lot of life and adventures awaiting and a lot of transformations, and but it just
Wow.
feels like I'm in the right place on the right path, and so yeah, also I wouldn't change a thing.
Well, Marvin, let me ask you, how many men are happy with who they are today and where they are? I'd say less than 1%, man.
Oh yeah, I was a couple years ago, so probably a lot of other men too who weren't and who aren't. So
So,
yeah, that's I mean that's really it. Yeah, it's really simple, right? Change change your life into something that you would want to live and become someone who you would want to be. It almost sounds too simple. Probably doesn't make sense,
sounds so
but
nice.
it sounds good.
Well,
Yeah, it
imagine,
sounds good.
because how presumptuous of us to say, do you like your life? No. Okay, change it. Great, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But what about the masks and the false idols and the false gods and these things that we essentially worship in our modern Western cultures, you know, and these things that we think are so important without ever stopping to think, you know, what actually matters to me in the Amorati, in the Essentials Introductory course? Who am I and what do I want is the only question that you need to ask yourself every day. And if you are true to that, then you can live a great life. And how many years have passed with you being disconnected from that true self? So there's an
Yeah.
element of
The interesting thing
that
is as
in what
well,
we're
I've noticed in my own journey that once you state the desires of what you want and who you want to become, it's very natural for a brain to come up with like many different things of why this is not possible. Oh, I can't because this and this and this and this, and this is going to be difficult because of this. It's like it's a natural instinct kind of. Depends maybe on the culture and the way you're raised as well, but for me at least that's always what comes up. And I've learned over time now to kind of ignore what comes up after and just trust that all these details, all these kind of troubles, they will work themselves out in some kind of way if I focus on the desire that I have in mind. So I just keep focused on that. All the troubles and the doubts that come up, they're natural. So you don't have to, but you can just say, hey, those things, I know they exist. I know my brain likes to think of those about those things, but I'll just trust in the universe and myself that things will work out if I follow this true and authentic desire in my heart.
oh,
So,
And if not, if it doesn't work out,
well,
asteroid hits, aliens invade, at least, at least when you had the chance, you tried to be your best, to be your truest. At least you'd have that, right?
exactly.
When the meteor's coming towards all of us.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
So at least you're on the path.
Yeah, at least you left behind the life that everyone else planned for you.
Yeah,
And you tried to do something different with your life,
yeah,
at least.
yeah. Yeah, man. So great conversation with Jeff. I think we should definitely have him
Yeah.
on again at some point.
Yeah.
And we'll
He's a
soon.
real mentor figure.
He is. He is. Yes, truly is. And I feel like he wants to give back as well. He has a lot of wisdom accumulated that he wants to share with a younger generation, as you mentioned. So you'll hear more from him at some point.
And first steps, we talk all high and out there, but practically first steps that you can do if you are interested in changing your life, making a real, lasting, permanent change, not just temporary advice and solutions that make you feel good in the moment, that keep you exactly where you are. One, we'll leave a link. Join the Amorati with Zan Perion. Add Marvin and I on Facebook. Message us, tell us your story, reach out to us, and get into the conversation. We have this conversation all the time in the membership. And if you're so bold, if you're there's a conference at the end of this month, the Amorati International Conference. We invite everyone to join us, join the Amorati. You'll get a free ticket to come to the conference and come talk to Marvin and come talk to myself and see what is possible on the other side of you stepping away from your fear and your hesitation. The men that actually like women, men that will support you on your journey with women. And after that, once you've had that taste of freedom, come and experience your rite of passage with the caravan. Come to Rome, come to Rio, come to Bucharest, and erase your old self. Split your life into past and into future and create yourself, because how much time have you already spent doing things that you don't truly love because you never stop to think about it? And also let us know what you think of this format, our takes on the discussions and the themes of the conversation with Jeff. We have many. We actually have Marvin. We have a couple episodes already recorded, and in the next few
Yes.
weeks they'll be coming out. So make sure to look out for that. This Sunday, actually, we have Alejandro, who is an expert approach coach. We were in the bar with him in Bucharest,
Yeah, yeah, great
and
guy.
man is consistent as they come.
Fantastic.
Fucking legend. Yeah. And so we have, and then Stelios and many other people who you will become acquainted with. So in the meantime, we hope you enjoyed. Hope this was valuable. Hope this shed some light on your situations. And we always look forward to your thoughts and your feedback. We want to make this as the best as we can for everyone. So we will respond to every comment. You are invited. Many are called, few are chosen, as they say, Marvin.
Really,
So,
truly.
do you have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, take the first step. Anything, anything. Take the first step. Read a book, buy the book, go out, join that Amorati, come to Bucharest, travel with us. Anything, any of those steps is a good place to start. So I invite everybody to do something.